Hi, welcome to a quick video on drawing inequalities. In this version I'm going to look at drawing inequalities where you've got harder graphs. So basically something of this form that I'm going to recap quickly now. So if you want to plot y equals 2x minus 1, all these take the basic form of y equals mx plus c. So c is your y-cut, that basically tells you where it's going to start. So this graph is going to start at minus 1, and that's on the y-axis. Next, m is your gradient, or your steepness. This basically tells you, if you go 1 square along, how many squares up do you go. So because the gradient is 2, that means you go 1 square along, you go 2 squares up. All these lines in this form will always be a perfectly straight line. So once you've got 2, 3 points, you know what it's going to look like. You can just get your ruler, and we're going to basically connect all the dots, making sure a line goes from the top of the graph to the bottom of the graph. Just one more like this, slightly harder. If your y equals minus a half x plus c, half x plus 3, it's the same basic form. Here we've got c is 3, so my graph is going to start at 3, and m is minus a half. Because m is minus a half, this means if you go 1 square along, you're going to go half a square down. So because it's minus, that means you are going down. And keep on that pattern, 1 square across, half a square down. You can get a few points, and then you just get your ruler and draw a straight line going through all the points, again making sure it goes into the negative region as well. Okay, there's a slightly easier type. On to the slightly harder type. This one is basically ax plus by equals c. And you've got an example here. What you could do, you could rearrange it into y equals mx plus c, but that can be fairly awkward and not help over much in certain cases. So there's a slight shortcut we can use. We know this will be a straight line. So anything where x and y only appear once and nothing is squared will always be a straight line. So we're going to work out 2 points on that straight line, and that'll be enough to tell us what the straight line looks like. So first, we're going to let x equal 0. If x equals 0, this equation reduces to just 2y equals 10, and therefore y equals 5. That means x equals 0 and y equals 5 is going to be one coordinate on my line. And we can plot that. 0, 5 will be up here. And then we do the exact opposite thing. Going to get the equation again, but this time I'm going to let y equals 0, then the equation reduces to 5x equals 10. So x equals 2, and that gives me another point on my line. X equals 2 and y equals 0. So again, I can plot that. And now because it's a straight line, those 2 points is all I need in order to draw that graph. Okay? And it'll look something like that. Okay, I'll just do one more like that, so you get a habit of how it works. So here, same graph, same idea. We'll let x equals 0, this reduces to minus 3y equals 12. Dividing 3 by 3 tells you y is minus 4. So that is my first coordinate. X equals 0, y equals minus 4. I then do the exact same thing again with y equals 0. Here I've got that 4x equals 12, which tells you that x equals 3, which again gives me my second coordinate. I plot that as well, which is going to go here. I've now got 2 points from a straight line, so I can just get my ruler and join them all together. Okay, that's it, that's the basics. On to the inequalities. You're basically given normally it's 2, 3 or 4 inequalities to plot. Throw them on the graph and they'll define a region. Like a nice box or a nice triangle or something like that. So let's get stuck into the slightly easier one first. We're going to plot each of these lines one at a time, just as if these were all equal signs. So you've got y is greater than minus 3. That would just be a straight line going through minus 3 on the y coordinates. X is greater than minus 1. That would be a straight line going through minus 1. When we do inequalities, if it doesn't equal it, we want to use a dashed line. So far y is bigger than minus 3 and x is bigger than minus 1. So we've kind of reduced it to this quadrant here so far. We have one more inequality, and that is y is less than minus 2x plus 5. So that is of the form mx plus c. So it's going to start at 5 The gradient is minus 2, so 1 square across, 2 squares down. We do that a few times, we can see its pattern, and then we just get a ruler and join those dots together. Here, because this is less than, that means we need to draw it below the line. So for all the awkward inequalities where the diagonal lines, if it's less than, it's below, if it's greater than, it is above. And again, that now gives us the final region, which would just be this triangle. So that's the one region which satisfies all three inequalities. Okay, hope that wasn't too bad. One more for a slightly harder question. So let's start with the easiest one. We know x is greater than minus 2. Same as last time. We're going to have a dashed line going through minus 2 in the x coordinates. And let's just work through these. So 2x plus 3y equals 24. If x equals 0, I'm going to have 3y equals 24. I'm going to ignore the inequality right now. So y equals 8. 0, 8 is here. I then do the same thing with y equals 0. I now have 2x equals 24, which means that x equals 12. Gives me my other coordinate down here. That's my first point done. Get your ruler, connect those 2 points together. And because this is less than, I know I'm below this line here. Next, the same idea over here. We have 5x, that should be plus 4y, sorry, is greater than minus 20. And we do the exact same thing. X equals 0 tells me 4y is minus 20, so therefore y is minus 5. We put that point on, and then same thing again with y equals 0 tells me that 5x equals 20 minus 20, so therefore x is minus 4. And again, I've got 2 points, so I can get my ruler and I can join those lines together. Again, I will do the proper thing and make sure my line goes all the way from one end to the other. This is a greater inequality, which means my line should have been dashed. I'll just draw over that. And we are above it. Sorry, greater, that means we're above the line. So it looks something like this. And the last inequality is y is greater than x minus 12. So again, that is off the form mx plus c. c is minus 12. So we're going to start here. Gradient's 1, so it's 1 square across and 1 square up. Okay, do a few points. Then get your ruler and we're away. Next, we can look at all inequalities to work out what region we're drawing. Again, here we're greater than, so I should have drawn a dashed line. And because we're greater than, we're above this line. We then look at all the 4 regions we've drawn, and we see the only region that satisfies all 4 of those inequalities is this shape here in the middle. So normally 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the nice shape in the middle. Occasionally it won't be, but it's a good rule of thumb to look out for. Okay, I hope that made sense, and thanks for listening.